2025 just keeps on giving. Now, ABC is giving The View a massive promotion and airtime where they're going to be on air 7 days a week. So now you can spend your weekends off work watching the panel of hosts talk about, I don't know, January 6th, comparing it to the Holocaust. They're preparing to expand their talk show, The View, by adding a weekend edition of the show called The Weekend View. Very creative.
You said the same hosts except for Whoopi Goldberg? She's like, I need my days off.
It's going to be the same panel of hosts as usual, with the exception of Whoopi Goldberg, who didn't feel like doing the extra work for the show. The funny thing is, they said that the plan is to not have this content be as politicized as the show normally is.
Sunny Hossie did be able to shut her face, definitely.
Right, like how are they going to be capable of doing that?
Didn't the original, like, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not the target demographic, but from what I was told, the original concept of The View when it started was that it wasn't very political, and it was mostly like
it became
women's
that way
health
over time.
And,
well, it was Barbara Walters.
Yeah.
And Barbara Walters was like she was a very big deal anchor, and she was very like waspy and proper. And so her big thing that she was doing had been like interviews of really prominent people. She would interview presidents, and she would do all of that kind of stuff. She actually went to my college.
Oh.
Yeah. So
she had a really interesting concept for the show because she wanted a woman from every generation and every walk of life to offer a diversity of perspectives. They no longer have a diversity of perspectives on the show, but they say in this press release, the weekends are when everyone's taking a break, so it's an opportunity to highlight some of the stuff the show covers throughout the week that maybe isn't in the politics arena. On Saturdays and Sundays, it's more of a lighter feel. They're covering stories of the week, but in a different tone, a different format. We'll cover the hot topics, but we'll lean more into pop culture on the weekends. So maybe this is
that during the week.
Going to be less politicized than it normally is. They also had their biggest season yet in 2024.
Or the biggest season in a long time.
The most watched that their seasons have been, like, literally ever.
Because
part
of
that is
2024.
everyone hated them. I mean, I watched The View here and there because they were just so abysmal and awful.
I mean, I think a lot of it was because of the election. Like, their numbers spiked very, very high during the election, which is what instigated them giving them this weekend slot. But then the numbers evened back out and went back to normal. I mean, they still do good.
Is it going to be the same people on the weekend?
Except for Whoopi. But I mean, the show does good numbers. So whenever people make jokes about nobody watching The View, that's actually not accurate.
The show does definitely an audience out there for this type of content.
More than there is for your average CNN anchor.
We have a 20 from Sithkill. Welcome back, everyone. Congratulations, Brett, on the engagement. You all rock. Side note, my birthday is January 6th, so I tell people they're not allowed to slander my birthday when they bring the riot up.
Happy birthday, and that's a smart thing.
Happy birthday, and thank you.
Happy belated birthday.
And thank you very, very much. I appreciate that.
I just don't see them being capable of not spewing political rhetoric.
Of course not.
Also, I just don't see why they're interesting 7 days a week. Like, how do they?
I could
see doing like a weekend view with totally different hosts.
Wasn't Rob Schneider supposed to be launching like a conservative version of The View to like rival them? Like, it would take ages to launch something like that, but that's a fairly good idea. But I just like, they must be paying them a really good amount of money, because if I'm them and they're already making good money, like, why would you want to give up your days off if you're already making millions of dollars every year?
Thomas Williams sent us a 20 again. He said, Mary, do you recommend Christian podcasts?
Or do you have any specifically, perhaps?
Yeah, I pretty much only watch Pints with Aquinas. That's like an explicitly Christian podcast. Big recommend. Pints with Aquinas, like beer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like, did you see that photo like right around the New Year where it showed all the late night hosts hanging out together? It was like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and I was like, I have never seen a least funny picture ever. It was awful.
Do you think they get along?
I saw the AI version where they all kissed.
Do you think that the panelists on The View even get along off camera?
I can't imagine some catty ass behavior behind it.
I can't imagine they do.
It's like, was it Hugh Grant was talking about how like making comedies is actually, just speaking of like the late night, I was like making comedies is the absolute worst because like you're doing the jokes but nobody's laughing because they've heard the take 30 times and it's just a miserable behavior. Everyone has to out funny each other and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, but the point of The View is really for them to outdo each other in how politically correct their takes can be. Yeah. And I know back when Meghan McCain was on, she was the only purpose of her being there was for them to single her out for having the most conservative takes of anyone else on the panel, which if a McCain is the most right-wing person on your panel, like you've got some problems.
They put her through hell too on that show.
They
were
did.
Really, they were rude to her. Everybody was horrible to her on that show.
The whole reason
she was showing
there.
up and speaking her mind and like, you know, getting her hair done and everything, and they still just treated her like trash.
Sunny Hostin's husband was just named in like a RICO case too for like medical fraud.
Yeah.
Was he?
So maybe they need the money.
Yeah. Well, I just saw that Scarlett Johansson was signed on to host, I think, was it Good Morning America
for like a week.
For a whole week? And people were like, I think that she's got to be in serious debt to agree to do this. With her level of star power.
Maybe she's bored.
Yeah, what's going on though?
Maybe she's just bored.
They must be paying her a crazy amount to do that.
Maybe she wants to pivot and do something else, right? Like, I don't know. You know, or know what it is? She feels guilty for that horrible, cringy Avengers Kamala campaign thing they did. The Avengers Zoom call.
She has to pay her penance for that.
Yeah.
That was bizarre when I saw that.
I can't imagine anybody actually wanting, but I guess I kind of think of The View, and maybe I'm wrong in the same way that you think of like CNN, which is like you put it on in the airport and nobody watches it, or it's on in the background. See, for a podcast, as I always tell you on here, it's a compliment to say that you put us on in the background while you're doing your dishes, making your lunch, you know, taking care of your kids. I appreciate that, but people who are actually on terrestrial television, that's not really what they're shooting for. They actually want you to sit down and pay attention. And I just never imagined that it was the type of show that people watched very, very closely. So I can't imagine people being like, well, you know, during the week, right? Like if it's a mom, right? Which I imagine most of their audience is like stay-at-home moms because it's on in the middle of the day. Right? Those stay-at-home moms are busy on the weekend. The kids got soccer practice and they got stuff to go do, right?
Or like old people.
Yeah.
I mean, old people are the ones watching network television in general. So
yeah,
I would assume so.
It just seemed weird to me that they would that there would even be an audience for it, because it feels like it gets its audience specifically because it's on at a time when nothing else is on except for like Tom Selleck infomercials and reruns of Three's Company.
That wasn't an exaggeration earlier, by the way. Sunny Hostin actually did go on a tirade about January 6th on air, comparing it to the Holocaust and 9/11. And so we can hashtag never forget about January 6th.
Well, it's like one of the worst events in American history, like the Holocaust. It's like, well, that didn't really happen in America, but go off.
Yeah.
And also only one person died.
Yeah.
And it was a couple of hours. And the Department of Justice prosecuted almost 1,600 people.
We have $100 super chat. Sorry to interrupt. That's Stanzatastic said, "What up, effers? Missed y'all.
PH.
Glad that the gang is all here again. Bert, I am so happy you found your Ernie. When is Morty gonna find their Rick? Don't forget us peons when you hit 1 million subs. Also, hi Phil. Hi Libby.
What's up?
Hello.
Fantastic.
How's it going?
I'm gonna have to ask Olivia how she feels about being compared to Ernie.
Probably not.
Frankly,
great.
I would rather be Ernie, because wasn't Ernie the cleverer one?
I don't know.
I'd rather be Ernie. She can be Bert. For pure vanity's sake, I want to be Ernie.
I don't like the Rick and Morty reference either.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that.
Thank you for the crisis party.
But you know, the DOJ, they arrested 300 people from the riots of 2020. That's it for that whole summer. 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how many?
20.
Not 20.
300.
300. That's
From
what I
months
said.
and months and months.
Even
For
still.
like rioting of over 100 nights. They tried to burn down a federal building in Portland every night. And 1,600 people trespassing. They accused people of deadly weapons because they had weapons in DC with them.
Not there at the event, but in DC in general.
Yeah, nobody brought firearms into the Capitol.
Thank you, guys. I do have an SD adapter, so I can put the new Crisis Party sound on here, but I have to sound test it first, and I feel bad having to do that during the middle of the day when everybody else is working.
Well,
I like what we have, and I don't want it to be terrifying and
the new one I made
disruptive.
Is terrifying.
I'd rather have a song, but we're not going to be dancing anymore, I guess.
Well, I was looking for more remixes of Trump songs, but a lot of them are already copyrighted by the people who made them, so I don't want to get caught for something on,
I see.
So. But anyways, guys, I can't imagine wanting to watch The View 1 day a week, let alone 7 days a week, but I am sure that there is a stay-at-home mom out there who will find some value in this. I just don't think most of them are in this sphere. That's just I think personally. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.